Alaska the most strategic place in the world. He said that if you own and occupy and build up forces in Alaska, you can have control over Asia, Europe, North America. So it's really the geographic location. I like to say now that Alaska constitutes three.
Present crisis. Call or go online today for your free copy.
Hi, I'm Jane King, and thank you for watching. This show is all about public, private, and blockchain companies. We bring you the innovators behind the companies making the headlines in that space. Some are sponsored, some are invited, all are curated and focused on telling you, the viewers, their story. Here we go.
HeliosDX is a high-complexity laboratory drug testing business that has some services that are unique in this industry. So with me is the CEO, Ashley Sweat, and then also the COO, Jan Jervil-Riach. So great to see you guys.
Great to see you, Jen.
Yes.
Good to be here.
So Ashley, just give me a quick overview of the company and then talk about your 15-month plan, because you're really starting to implement that, right?
Sure. So, HeliosDX is a high complexity laboratory, as you mentioned. We're really branding ourselves as a national alternative to some of the other big box laboratories. We're focused on infectious disease, toxicology, mental health, allergies, or some of the testing that we provide today. So recently, to your question, we rolled out a 15-month roadmap. Very detailed of kind of what's going to happen between now until the end of 2022. Part of that is talking about the acquisition coming up that we have through our Reg A, which is at the foremost priority right now. It's closing on that acquisition so that we go from a $6 million company to a $15+ million company. But some of the things that are really important as we move forward to that acquisition and through the acquisition are things that Jan's working on. He'll talk about in a little bit, like our infrastructure, our systems, bringing in artificial intelligence, which we've already done through a company called Arcstone Medical, which is really going to help in patient care. And so that's a little bit about the 15-month plan. It's very detailed, but probably not enough to go into right now.
Well, you gave me kind of the 30,000-foot view, so that's good. So, Jan, provide your perspective on the execution of this plan.
Thank you for the question, Jane. So really, I have to give credit to Ashley for having created a foundation, right? A great foundation that we can roll with and grow. He's taken a regional laboratory, and he's created a national brand around that. So as a COO, I'm coming in to basically help catapult that up to reach our targets of a 50 million, revenue company.
So where do you see yourself spending the most time in executing this plan?
So there are a lot of aspects around that. Marketing, sales, our operations, both with the billing company as well as with our laboratory. So it's really some of the platforms that Ashley has initially put into place expanding those, making sure that our processes are good. And then we have to deal a lot with compliance, so making sure that we're compliant across the board.
Okay, so, and I'm sure that will be a challenge for nothing else, just, keeping on top of all of that. What do you see as some of the challenges with this? And
so think of it, it's like a big ship that you're trying to navigate some pretty treacherous waters, right? And the compliance component of that is a big piece of it, not only with the laboratory regulations, but also with SEC and the financial side of that as well. So making sure that we're staying straight, keeping our integrity to provide the best service to our patients. And then it's really like growing the company and focusing on the patient, right? With the different AI applications that Ashley and we have brought into the company to really grow that and focus on that more. It's speed. It's trying to get the process quick and get the patient the results that they need.
Yeah, okay. And then finally, Ashley, any other insight you have as you implement this? You talked about AI. Tell me a little bit more about where you want to be at the end of 2022.
Well, as we work towards 2022, I think it's important for me to say it's paramount that we stay focused on our core business, and not lose sight of that. Yes, we have acquisition. Yes, we're raising capital. In the 15-month plan, we talked about the Helios spinoff out of RushNet. We currently trade under RushNet, RSHN. Next summer, Helios will spin out of that and become its own separate standalone company and its own ticker. So, the main thing we have to do right now is execute the core, grow the business, not lose sight of that. It would be very easy with all the things we have going on through AI, we're introducing a health wallet, which actually that's the first time I've announced that. So we're introducing a new technology for us and for our doctors and patients with health wallet. So again, as we bring all this stuff moving forward through the end of 2022, it is paramount that we focus on the core, grow the business. We can't lose sight of that.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much, Ashley and Jan, for coming. Best of luck.
Thanks for your time.
Secure, the true solution for your digital privacy and security. Secure is a private and secure messaging and email solution hosted in Switzerland, using proprietary military-grade encryption and Swiss privacy laws, giving you true privacy. Secure doesn't collect or sell your data and doesn't require your phone number or any personal data that hackers target. You can message and email non-secure users privately without the need for others to download Secure. Visit secure.com. Regain and protect your privacy today.
B2 Digital is a premier development league for mixed martial arts. So the company operates in two major branded segments, the B2 Fighting Series and the One More Gym official B2 Training Facilities Network. And with me is CEO Greg Bell. Greg, welcome. And give us, for those who didn't see the first interview, just give us an overview of what the company does.
Well, first of all, I just want to say thanks for having us, Jane. It's always nice to see you for a second interview. So I appreciate you taking the time to do this. So yeah, for those of you who don't know much about our company, we operate really doing three things. I'm a believer in never trying to do more than three things at once. So that's a lot. But the first thing we're doing as a company is we're building basically the minor league or the development league for the big mixed martial arts industry. Obviously, the UFC is the big major league. What we're doing is building the feeder system or the development league, much like the NBA has their own NBA development league. What we have is the first thing we're doing is we're building that minor league, should we say, or the feeder league. But so what that is we have live events that are mixed martial arts fights. And then the second thing we're doing is we're building the One More Gym brand or training facilities to take advantage of the everyone wants to be healthy post-COVID movement. And then our fighters are being trained there, but also they're all for the public. So actually you can go and join a gym and actually train right next to the fighters. So it's worked quite well. And then the third thing we're doing, we have our own production company where we produce all our own content, the live fights, and then we're just getting into producing other events, and we digitally distribute that ourselves and collect money on it on paper. So the 3 revenue streams are basically live event tickets for the events, 2 subscriptions for the gyms, and then 3 pay-per-view and selling our content that we own.
Okay. And I love the 3 things at a time rule. Like I'm going to follow that. I think that's very good advice for business. Can you give us an update on the live fighting business? How are you progressing with that?
Yeah, sure. It's actually been quite exciting. We've had some of our fighters go up to the UFC and have been fighting in the UFC. So this is all about the fighters to us. So to give the shareholders an update, we've been able to, our revenue streams for is like we said before, is 1 is the live tickets. And then 2, we take a cut of food and beverage in the stadiums and places we operate. And then 3 is our pay-per-view business. So we've had a really good run. We kind of do it summer, fall, and then spring. But so the good news out of all that is we literally have 50 fights planned for the next 60 weeks. And so that business is operating very well. We're making money at each one of the shows, and our revenue is increasing. So it's kind of an exciting story. So if you look at, we're now at literally have 50 fights planned in the next 60 weeks. What's nice about that from our business is we're getting pretty good at predicting exactly what it is. So we know that in that business, we're going to do 1,000 fans, and that's 35,000. 1,000 fans times $35 at every ticket is 35,000. We're going to do 5,000 to 10,000 in food and beverage, and then we're going to do 10 to 20 in pay-per-view. So if you kind of net that out to 50,000 times 50, you guys can do the math. We got a $2.5–3 million business there in the next running 12 months, just in our fight group.
And people are so hungry for live events too. So I think that's, important space to be in.
Yeah, we're also, Jay, that's you're hitting the nail right on the head, as I say. So back to my, hit the nail on the head and only do 3 things at once rule. So anyhow, what we're finding is obviously with COVID, which was a disaster, everything, the good news to the shareholders in the last 90 days, we've seen very little impact, from the virus in our live event business. We're having sellout crowds, and, so the people there's 2 things we're capitalized. 1 is the pent-up demand for everybody's been locked up. They all want to go do something. But the second thing that is more important is the mixed martial arts major leagues, the UFC, for example. They're spending a ton of money to educate and create MMA fans, but they're in the NFL cities. We're not in the NFL cities. We don't go to Atlanta. We're in Birmingham, Alabama, 90 miles away. So we're capitalizing on those fans, and they're showing up in droves.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. And speaking of pandemic impact, gyms hugely impact. My husband has a gym here in New York, so I know this firsthand. Where does that stand? How are you progressing with the gym part of the company?
Well, interestingly enough, our gyms are growing. We're growing. So we now have 5 gyms, and our organic growth in our gyms is going about 20 to 30% a quarter in revenue. And what that comes from is 2 things. Is the one thing that everybody in this world right now wants to be is healthy. Right. And so that we've been able to accomplish, getting a really high-end fitness facility. But what happens is we build those gyms out, and then we add the fighters. And then, like, for example, at the fights, we have a booth that says, come join one more gym and be healthy. So that cross-marketing is working very, very well. But our gym business is growing 20 to 30% quarter to quarter.
No. And I remember when we talked last time, you were talking about the Q2 revenue, the top line revenue is growing. How does that look? Is that still constant? And how is the second quarter looking for you?
Yeah. So our second quarter, actually, we just finished it up, obviously. We did about 550,000 last in Q1, but we're happy to report in Q2, which we did a press release, will be somewhere around that 650 or 660,000 in revenue. So we're still growing, quite dramatically. And the other part of that is that's pure organic growth. There's no acquisition growth. That's just pure organic. So when you look at our 2 main revenue segments of the fighting business is, growing rapidly. And when I say growing rapidly, the COVID quarter, as I call it, we couldn't have any fights and we barely had 1 gym, was 60,000 a quarter. So you can see that dramatic growth. We've gone from, 14 months ago, 6 employees to now we're over 100 employees. So it's really growing fast.
Oh, so great to hear that you have recovered from the pandemic well. So now
let's not carried away. I didn't say I recovered. I just said the business is recovering. But
that's what I meant. So now you talked about organic growth. Is that how you expect to continue to growth, or do you look at some mergers and acquisitions as well?
Well, the answer to your question is I wanted to step back on the gyms so to talk about organic growth. So the answer, though, is we're going to grow organically, and our target is 20 to 30% quarter to quarter. And then obviously we're going to really grow as we add acquisitions in the space. But the one thing to tell the shareholders, we have these 5 properties now, and we test marketed, we went in and we acquired the gyms, and then we went to our local people we know that ran the jiu-jitsu gym. And for those who don't know that, that's like where you like the old karate days, you go in, they have kids classes and all that kind of stuff. So we've made a deal with a high-end jiu-jitsu group, and in our 5 facilities, the way we did it first is we went in and built the space out for the jiu-jitsu side, and then we went and got the people that we knew and put them in, and just to test to make sure that customers showed up. And boy, did they ever show up. Those jiu-jitsu gyms, we tripled their space and it tripled their revenue. So the good news for the shareholders is we have leased the 3 spaces next to our 3 gyms, and we're going in the jiu-jitsu training business we've got a deal with a top partner that runs those kind of businesses for us. And so our gyms average, 20 to 30 to 40,000 when they're all repaired, meaning we fixed them, we've upgraded the equipment. And what this will do is double the revenue of every gym per month. So right now we've got the deal done, and we'll be announcing more about it, but we have leased the 3 spaces next to 3 of our gyms. And so basically our revenue model for our gyms is going to jump from 40,000 a month to 100,000 a month as we add jiu-jitsu and get the revenue. So, when you look at that, it's, that's how we're going to grow through organic. Right. And then when you talk about our acquisition strategy, and again, you know how the rules work, Jane, I can't tell anything. All I can say to the shareholders, we're in the process of 2 to 3 acquisitions that are in this space that are going to be very, very exciting. And when I say in process, I define that as, we're in the room, we got handshake, contracts are being done, but I can't really talk about it. Just to tell our shareholders, hold on, because here we go again. As the song goes.
Stay tuned, as they say.
Right.
Okay, so how do you get the MMA customer go back and forth, the live events, the gym? How do you kind of incorporate that whole ecosystem?
Yeah, well, that's a very good word. What our business is, we talked about all the money that has been invested to grow and create MMA fans, which MMA now is the biggest sport in the world. And obviously that's very, very exciting. And just to be clear, we are not the UFC. We're the little guy. They're the big guy. We're the feeder program, as I say. So they're our friend, not our enemy. We don't compete with them. We're completely different. We're just a little minor league.
Okay. Thank you so much, Greg. Fascinating. And I look forward to bringing you back when you can talk publicly about the acquisitions.
Yeah, that'd be great, Jay. It's always nice to see you.
Thanks, you too. Missoula is a new personal finance app for kids from Rego Payments. And with me to explain a little bit more about how Missoula works, we've got Dan Apter, the Chief of Strategy, and also Steve Kravitz, who is the Chief of Product. So Dan, let's just start. Give me an overview of Rego and Missoula, and then we're going to get a chance to see it, which will be exciting. So go ahead, Dan.
Yeah. Well, thank you for having us back, Jane. Really excited to do a little demo. So really quickly, Rego, we're a neobank and privacy-first platform. Our platform offers a number of applications in the commerce space, both in-store and online. We're currently addressing the family wallet virtual card space. It's actually an $800 billion total addressable market, so quite sizable. And we're serving about 70 million US kids and teens. So what makes Rego special is that we have 3 patents in the area of privacy, PCI attribution, and identity management. And we're currently the only certified COPPA and GDPR mobile wallet out there. So we're Stephen's gonna demo some of that today. These, what we like to say, all the features of a mobile wallet that kids want. but we don't compromise on safety and security, which really parents deserve.
Absolutely. And we talked last time, I have a 12 and a 14-year-old, and I am all about personal finance for the kids. So I think it's such a crucial skill that they learn. So, and Missoula's the app. So Steve, do you want to introduce us? You want to chat about it for a second and then show us a demo?
I think the best thing, Jane, is to just go right into the app, because that tells the story for the parents and the viewers out there. We like to show the parents what it is that their superpowers actually gives them the ability to do. So what I'm showing you right now is the parental home screen. So as a parent, you can come in here and see all of your children in your family. And one thing we've done also, Jane, is we've built the application for the non-nuclear family. Given that families are different today, that we can have step parents or guardians come in and also view and visualize what's going on with the child. We've made that available for, like I said, that non-nuclear family that you want to extend your superpowers to other people. So when you look at this screen, you see the children, and we can drill into any child at any different level. But one of the things we wanted to show you was, when you come in here, we give you a little guided tour of how to set up your app and what you need to do as a parent with your superpowers. And then one of the really nice features of the app is the ability for a parent to show their children responsibility and earn rewards for good behavior. And, chores is one of those things that kind of drives and motivates children. And so if we can build a reward system that motivates the children and to do things that are good for them, but also teaches them fiscal responsibility, then we've done our job as a financial app for the family. And so what you're seeing here is the ability to visualize what chores you have set up for your children in your feed here. And so when you go into that, you can see that you've assigned individual ones to the children, and you can show that you've given those chores to each of the children. So if you see on here, like the first one here is make your bed, you can see that you've assigned it to everybody in your family, as opposed to practice your instrument. Maybe you only have one child doing instrument work, and so you can assign it to that individual child. And when you drill into that, you can see what days of the week they're supposed to do those. And we've devised a really interesting way for kids to steal chores. So the parents set up chores and make them stealable, then other children in the family can go grab them and earn those rewards while the other kids are
lazy
watching. So it's a really fabulous, I didn't want to say that. But
I said it, yeah.
One of the other areas that we feel really compelled to help families with is the motivation behind not just shopping and doing for themselves, but also doing good in the community. And so we've made it possible for children and parents to set up any charity in the United States, over 300,000 charities, and they can assign them to their children's account, and then they can find a way to motivate their children to give to those charities for whatever reasons they want. It could be a reward system, it could be a matching system, it could be whatever you want it to be. But we give that ability. And we've also, in the next few weeks, we're going to be adding over 50,000 churches, the largest churches in America, and synagogues. And so we'll have over 350, maybe close to 400,000 organizations, whether it be faith-based or society or social causes, health causes. Kids can actually take some of their rewards or take some of their monies that they earn in allowance and turn that into a socially responsible child.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you for having us, Jane.
Thank you for having us.
Need hearing hearing aids? Tired of paying $5,000 or more? Tired of making multiple trips to have your hearing aids adjusted? Now you don't have to. Our HearIQ 4 medical grade hearing aids are fully rechargeable, Bluetooth compatible, and start at under $1,000 for a complete set or monthly payments of $44. Our hearing aids are self-adjusting using any smartphone and features remote programming by hearing care professionals without you ever leaving home. Order your pair today at myheariq.com.
With me is Peter Wojcik, the CEO of PharmaGreen Biotech, to talk about some developments with what the company has been doing. Peter, let's welcome and let's get right to it. So update us on what PharmaGreen is, what it does for the returning and new listeners out there.
Yes, thank you so much again for having me. It's always a pleasure to be doing the interviews with you. Quick on the PharmaGreen, just to recap, we're a highly specialized tissue culture company. And, our focus is basically to be delivering the best starter plantlets for the agriculture industry. We're right now focused on the cannabis industry. As we announced back in the summertime, we're just completing the process for an acquisition. So we signed an MOU back in August, and we're just going through the due diligence process. We're just at the very last stage. Everything is going quite well. We're very pleased with the process, and we look forward to complete this acquisition with our funding in place.
Okay, so I want to talk to you more about that in a second, but let's talk about that Northern California property too. So where are you with that?
Well, basically, right now we're just at the tail end. So all the due diligence, like I mentioned, has been checked out. We're at this stage right now where we're actually looking to get down to the site, do a final site inspection. And upon our funding in place, we're looking to complete that and start the actual build out of the state-of-the-art greenhouse like we announced.
Okay, and then so let's talk about the acquisition. Who is it? What are the next steps? Timing of completion? What does it mean for the company? Just give me all the details about that.
Okay, great. So we're looking to complete right away. When is really dependent on our funding being in place, which I'm very glad to report to you as well. PharmaGreen qualified for its Reg A offering. So we received a notice of qualification from the SEC, which is great. Now we can go to the next stage and promote our offering to complete this acquisition. So the acquisition is pegged to be $2.4 million in total cash and shares, $1.2 million in cash, which we're looking to raise as soon as possible and complete this acquisition.
Okay, and you can't tell me who it is, right, until it's a done deal?
Yes, correct. Okay. So I can tell you so much that we're so much excited to release who it is, introduce the party, that I plan to actually bring him out into your studio when we're at that stage and do a live introduction to.
Okay, that would be great. Yeah. So, and then you mentioned the Reg A funding. So what does that mean for PharmaGreen in the future?
Well, that means we actually now have a roadmap to how we can present to the investors and the tool that we have basically to attract the investment dollars. So we've gone quite a bit into the modern era of investor material presentation, where we're just wrapping up our landing page as well. So the investors will be able to go onto that landing page, fill in their information and so forth, and do a purchase of shares. Once they evaluate all the information the company will provide, and they can make a decision. So we simplified the process. Instead of the regular paper type subscription agreements, it's all done digitally online.
Okay, and so where can investors get more information about that?
We're just making that available, but it will be available on our website, which is pharmagreen.ca/investors. In the next few days, it will actually be live, and we'll provide that further through our social media channels and other means to let the investors know the exact URL of the landing page.
Okay, so it sounds like you're on the right path for business development. You've got a lot of things going on. I mean, how would you describe where you are right now?
Well, first of all, I would describe I'm very happy where I'm at right now with the process. But most of all, we're really getting into the nitty-gritty of things. So we're very anxious to get the business development started, get those, greenhouses under construction so we can really ramp up those revenue models and move on to the next stage, get our nursery application in with the state of California so we can begin the engineering and the build out of the tissue culture facility as well. The importance to notice, how in conjunction the greenhouse and the tissue culture works. Right now, the license is for flowering of the cannabis bud. So the actual starter plantlets have to be purchased in order for them to be utilized into the flowering stage. It is, call it, rather expensive. So us producing our own tissue cultured starter plantlets, we will be providing the very best quality, reducing our costs of operation by being able to supply our own, and additionally sell these plantlets to other growers in the area as well, who are, very much interested in high demand for these tissue cultured starter plants.
Okay, thank you so much, Peter. Looking forward to getting you in the studio with your new company and learning all about that.
Yes, me too. Thank you so much.
Need hearing aids? Tired of paying $5,000 or more? Tired of making multiple trips to have your hearing aids adjusted? Now you don't have to. Our HearIQ 4 medical grade hearing aids are fully rechargeable, Bluetooth compatible, and start at under $1,000 for a complete set or monthly payments of $44. Our hearing aids are self-adjusting using any smartphone and features remote programming by hearing care professionals without you ever leaving home. Order your pair today at myheariq.com.
The Paypolitan platform will use blockchain technology, smart contracts, and open banking APIs to provide a next-gen billing solution that meets the needs of modern payment systems for businesses and customers. With me is CEO Nils Thuran Ortiz. Nils, great to see you again.
Hello, Jane. Thank you for having me again.
So tell us more about Paypolitan for our audience who may not have seen some of the previous interviews.
Right. So in a nutshell, Paypolitan is a payment app. It's, I would say, half Apple Pay, half MetaMask. You can connect your existing wallets and do crypto payment that you can download for free from Apple and Google Play. And you simply connect your existing wallets or bank accounts. For the time being, you can use it for crypto payments. And by end of the year, we will also add the cash payments. So you can simply use your smartphone, but there is no credit card in our system. So it's only debiting your existing bank account or your existing wallet. And last but not least, let's say you want to buy a laptop that's $500. You say maybe that's a bit a lot just before Christmas, or right now, Black Monday, still want to keep some funds, and then you can purchase this with the instant credit, which we're implementing right now.
Yeah. So, and how many people do you have working for you now? I know you've got different offices globally. You've had some pretty good growth lately, right?
That is correct. So we had a tremendous growth. A year ago, we were 5 people at Paypolitan. And right now, a year later, we're 95 people working at Paypolitan already. So that is a very steep growth. And we're very proud as a startup. There's also creating some obstacles and challenges in terms of management. I have to say, so we are still a startup, but now we also have to structure certain procedures in order to manage so many people.
Yeah. So where are you now?
Right now, I'm here in Kiev at our premises. We have here with our IT team, we have 15 developers in Ukraine working for Paypolitan.
And then what about the sales team? So are they spread out? How are they doing?
we spoke in August, I was training the first 12 sales agents, and I was just back to Kosovo before last week, and I trained another 40 operators. So right now we have a team of over 50 agents in our sales team. They are distributing our app, of course, to users, and also selling the EPAN token to investors. So there also we have a very strong growth.
Okay, and I want to get your take on the announcement from China this week that there was essentially, I mean, you could hold crypto, but you couldn't trade it and really do anything with it. I heard a lot, I mean, of course, it sent the price down immediately, but I did also hear people say, we've kind of heard this from China before. What's your take on the Chinese announcement?
Well, it's not the first Chinese crackdown on crypto. We experienced that in 2017 already. And we have seen in the past, there are always niches also for Chinese in order to continue with crypto. And crypto is decentralized. So China is a centralized state. So I hardly see how a centralized state can stop a decentralized solution. What will happen is all those miners and companies who did mining or crypto-related business in China, they will move to different jurisdictions like Hong Kong or Singapore eventually. So there was a reaction by the market, of course. We could see it in Bitcoin and Ether. They dropped shortly, but Ether, for instance, today, they're back to the 3,000s. So we have to monitor this, but in the past, we have experienced, if you look through the history of blockchain, there have been many measures by the Chinese government in order to control that movement, because the government, of course, wants to control anything financial sphere in China. But blockchain and crypto in itself, you cannot stop because, as I said, it's decentralized.
Right. Very interesting. Well, it's, as always, interesting times in this industry. So thank you so much, Nils, for coming, updating us, and giving us your perspective on what's going on in the cryptocurrency markets right now.
Thank you very much, Jane, and glad to see you back on NASDAQ.
Yeah, it's great to be back, and look forward to having you here in the studio. Secure is a secure email system, and it comes to us from Globex Data, and the CEO, Alon Gahi, is here to give us an update on Secure. And Alon, you have had quite a year so far. Bring us up to date on where Secure is in the company as well.
Thank you, Jane. Thank you for watching us. Basically, Globex Data, which is our public company traded under ticker SWISF, is a creator of an application called Secure, spelled S-E-K-U-R. We have an email and a messenger application. We also have an application called Secure Suite, which is for larger businesses. It's a document management, file share, password manager as well. We're actually doing a lot of upgrade on that one by Q1 of next year, because we identified that now people are looking at securing and backing up the data in the cloud in companies that are not necessarily, the Google and the Microsofts of the world, because those are obviously, data mined all the time. So right now what we're doing is we launched around mid-July in the US with great success. We had an amazing quarter, very happy. We really feel strongly that we can deliver double-digit growth every quarter over quarter for the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years. So that's big. And the email application is actually interesting because we have certain feature. First of all, we host everything in Switzerland, which has the highest data privacy laws in the world. We have also our own platform, so we don't host on big tech like Amazon Web Service, Google, Microsoft, and all that. And we also don't use open source coding. So the service is extremely secure and very private because we don't data mine you. So Secure Messenger is doing well. We're improving some of the stuff because you can message someone that doesn't have secure right now if you email someone, but we're going to add chat by invite with text. So that's going to be great. You can text anyone and say, hey, click here and you can chat with me. They don't need to buy the app. And the secure email is going through a revamp where we're going to launch our email application in Q1. And that'll be a game changer because our application, our service, if you use webmail, you can use a service called Secure Send, which lets you send an email to anybody in the world without anybody on the internet being able to phish and hack it. But unfortunately, people don't know how to configure their email all the time. They don't want to use webmail. So this email application is going to take us from 0 to 1 million, really, because it's going to make it so easy. It's like downloading Gmail, but now you're going to download Secure Mail.
Okay. So I'm sure people they're listening to this and are like, that sounds really good, especially with all the hacks we've heard. What's the process for somebody to get on the secure email?
So all they have to do is go to secure.com, that's secur.com, go to pricing, and you have two choices today. You have the messenger or the secure, which gives you the messenger as well. Interestingly enough, we are launching email only, probably in November, and the application for it on your phone, probably in January, February. So you'll have secure mail. So go to Secure, buy it for $10 a month or $100 a year. We give a free trial. Once you register and everything, then you can download on iOS or Android. You go to Secure Communications and you can download the application. And that's it. And we have a ton of video tutorial on our website. If you go to support, a video tutorial, super easy to do.
Okay. So, and you talked a little bit about the first quarter and some of the plans. Can you talk about 2022 and what kind of plans you have for next year?
Absolutely. So 2021 was already exciting enough because we raised, I would say in US dollar, close to $7 million, which was pretty amazing for us. We have no debt. We launched Secure successfully in the US. We have our advertising campaign. As you know, you're at NASDAQ. We have a huge 96-foot wide billboard on the NASDAQ building. We have 200 electronic panels in all of New York City subway, the big station. So we're doing this advertising all over, and we're getting a ton of subscribers. So the proof of concept is done. We're improving on Secure Messenger. What's very exciting in Q1, we're launching our Secure Mail application, which will make it completely ubiquitous, very easy to use, our email, and you'll be able to have all the webmail feature that today you can only have on webmail, like Secure Send and things like that. So we plan to push heavily to the business sector, of course. We'll have a business email coming up soon. And we also plan to expand our reach in the US. We have Latin America that is firing up as well because we have our contract with America Mobile, and we have a South Asian telecom as well. So 2022 will be as good or better than 2021. I have to say we're very lucky. Our performance, our stock has performed very well. I think it's done close to 300% year to date. In fact, today the market is terrible and we're up 5%. And I think it's because people are discovering, hey, cybersecurity is something that is not going away, and they're looking for companies that are unique in this sense. You know, we're not a billion-dollar company, but our product is quite unique and very helpful for people. We've protected over 2,000 people so far and growing every day. Every day we have new subscribers coming on.
Interesting. And that's on the OTC. Tell us how we can follow your shares or buy stock if we would like.
Sure. So if you want to buy it in the US, you go to any place basically and you type the ticker SWISF. We're a foreign issuer because we're still Canadian issuer. In Canada, it's SWIS, SWIS. I should mention that we are discussing plans to eventually uplist to NASDAQ in the next 24 months or less. Probably next year, Q1, we're going to have serious discussion. We identified about half a dozen investment banks that are interested to do so. So you type in on Yahoo Finance, on whatever you use, SWISF, SWISF.
Thank you so much. I look forward to getting an update soon.
Thank you, Jane, and thanks everyone for watching us.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to New to the Street. This is your secure segment, the weekly hack with Elaine Guillai. I'm Anna Berry. Elaine is with Globex Data, the leader in Swiss-hosted private and secure communications and data management. So you guys might know that Cole Porter song, Love for Sale. Now it's data for sale, right, Elaine?
Absolutely. It is like Christmas is coming early for some people. Unfortunately for the bad guys, not the good guys. For all the mean little kids there, you know, you're going to have a good time because it was about 3.8 billion people's data that was stolen. It was taken out of Clubhouse and Facebook. So Clubhouse was an application. Again, all these applications are free. So when it's free, you are the product. And unfortunately, when the product has like a leak and it gets hacked, your entire life is basically now being sold. I think it's for $100,000. They're selling 3.8 billion people's data. And what's happening is, so first of all, these applications have no regard for your privacy or security. They just want to mine your data because eventually they actually sell it and they rent it. What they don't like, of course, is being hacked and have that data stolen, and now it's made public. So what's happening is the cyber hackers, today they have two choices. They either go and spend real effort to crack some of these corporate networks and all of that and try to steal our data, or even better, they just wait for a Christmas sale. In this case, probably more like Thanksgiving and Halloween. That's how scary it is. It's a Halloween scare. And basically for $100,000, they can have 3 billion people's data. And then they do what we call an ATO, which is an account takeover. What this means is that now they have your name, your phone number, your email. We'll get into that in a minute. Your credit card, where you live, your bank account, everything. And sometimes your social security number, which is a bit of a nightmare because then they really own your life and they can commit crime in your name. And they just go to town and they just steal whatever they can. They even resell that data. So unfortunately, you're always the victim and you have to change everything. You have to change your credit card, your password, and so forth. And there was actually an interesting thing this morning. I'm sure you know that Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp, which belongs to Facebook, they have a whole outage worldwide. So it's, I think, intermittent, I'm not sure, but they had a big outage. And what does that tell you? These massive platforms with billions of people on it are not secure. We've been saying that forever. And your entire data is being mined, you know. So don't think that when you use WhatsApp and they tell you it's encrypted, it's not encrypted to a level that it's really protecting you. A 10-year-old can decrypt that. And basically all the communication, all the conversation, all the documents that you send on WhatsApp are now in the hands of hackers. So it's just a terrible thing. And I'd just like to say, you know, we have the carbon neutral and reduce the carbon footprint. I'm a big fan of the environment and protecting our planet Earth. I also like to say we should reduce our social media footprint. That way we have less chances of being a victim of such attacks.
It's such a great point. And even in our weekly conversations, it has brought a new sense of awareness to me, right? Being an active user on social media with email, and I'm much more cautious now. So talk to us, weave in how secure helps with this, because it's not just big companies that need to watch out. It's for the everyday people like myself who are actively on social media, actively putting my email in, not as much anymore. So how does secure help with that?
So this is what we do. So Secure is hosted in Switzerland. So legally, we already obey some very strict data privacy laws, the strictest in the world. We do not use big tech platforms. We have our own. So we don't use Amazon Web Service. We don't use Google or Microsoft platform. I don't know what Facebook group uses. I think it's AWS, Amazon Web Service, just like Signal and Proton Mail and all these people. So we don't use any of those. We have our own. We've been around since 2007 in Switzerland. We have never suffered a successful hack. And we also do not use open source coding, which is basically 99% of the software out there. And that's why you see all these hacks. And number three, we don't data mine you because we make money by charging you $5 a month for the messaging app or $10 for the combo of email and message. We also have features on Secure Mail that are very useful. Right now, they come in the webmail version. So if you install Secure Mail in your device, you will not have that Secure Send feature, but we're working on it. We're launching a new app in January that will have all the bells and whistles, and it'll make it a lot easier for people to just download as if you would Gmail, for example, and just use the best email, the most private email in the world that you can get for $7 a month. That's coming in January. So when you use Secure Send, which is a feature, you can essentially email someone that doesn't have our network secure, and that person can also secure reply. So they don't need to buy the service. Only the sender needs to. And why would you use that? In which instance? Let's say if you have something, you're emailing your doctor, your lawyer, your banker, your broker, or even private conversations that you don't want other people to have. Your accountant. You know, it's going to be tax time in March, and for corporation, I think, or the public, I think, in April in the US. So when you send your bank statement and all your receipts and all your copy of whatever to your accountant, which still happens, you know, all those emails are flying out, and now the hackers have your financial data. So Secure Email protects you in all of those ways. Secure Messenger is a replacement to WhatsApp. It's a message for voice recording, for chat, group chat. We don't have a phone call thing yet, but we're coming up with Secure Voice in Q1 of next year. It'll be a little bit more expensive, but it wouldn't use the voice over IP protocol. It uses our own encrypted and our Helix technology, again, so nobody can get in. Nobody has a source code like open source, and everybody can just get in to these software. So Secure Messenger is great because, first of all, we don't require your phone number. So you don't have to give it away. That means that when you use Secure Messenger, nobody even knows you're using it. With every Secure Messenger, you're issued a secure number. So when you have somebody that has Secure Messenger and they want to add you in their list, their address book, they need to have your secure number. If they don't have it, they can't add you. And let's say you're adding someone that you have their info, and they can still refuse. They can basically say, no, I don't want to be in your address book. So even if you know somebody's secure number and you invite them, they have the option of being added or not.
So thank you so much for joining us again on New to the Street. We look forward to next week. Thank you, Elaine.
Thank you, Anna. Great having you. And thanks for our viewer for watching us.
PetProducts.com. Thousands of products. An Al Simon Wee Wee Pad Inventor Company.
HapBee makes the first wearable device that lets you choose your mood. And with me is the CEO, Jonas Stern, to explain how this, first of all, let's just see it, okay? So I'll hold it up. And we'll talk a little bit more about this in depth, but let's talk about the wellness market in general. How big is the wellness market?
The wellness market it's immense. It's almost $5 trillion, and it breaks down into a bunch of different categories. Wearables alone are almost $100 billion.
And they're becoming more popular. People are getting used to wearables.
You know, the thing about wearables, which is we find so compelling, is the vast majority, 95% of wearables on the market, are basically monitors, right? So you think about Whoop, and you think about Fitbit or Garmin or the Apple Watch. They're basically monitors that are giving you back feedback, biofeedback about how your body's doing, how many REM cycles you do, or what your heart rate is. They're precious few that actually do something for you. So this is just, most of the wearables are reading things. We're the other side of the coin where we actually help you optimize your wellness.
Okay, so you have to tell me, how does this work? So I tried it, and we'll talk about that in a second. I put it around my neck, and more for the hour that you're supposed to wear it. So how does it work?
So basically, and I'm not a scientist, but what I can explain to you basically is every compound that we ingest, think coffee, think nicotine, think CBD, every one of those compounds is made up of molecules. Every one of those molecules has a unique digital signature. That's what the scientists figured out. If you will, they sing a little song. And the song that they sing is received or heard by the bioreceptors in your cells. And I know that sounds really weird, but if I would have told you 5 years ago that you could charge a phone without plugging it in, would you have believed me? Or that you could broadcast a signal without wires? Your body works on signals exactly the same way. And when these compounds are present and they sing their little song to your brain or to cells in your body, they know it's present.
Yeah, okay, so I'm going to tell you my story. So I had a long list of things to do on Sunday. I had to write a speech, I had to do a proposal, I had to get my work done for Monday. There was like 4 kind of big things I had to do. Very unmotivated. I was like, I'm just going to try. So I put it on. I did the email mastery because I knew we were doing the interview. And I got done with everything early. Okay, so I don't know like if this is a psychological thing or what, but I want to give it a few more tries. But
the number 1 use, so you just nailed the number 2 use for the product, which is focus.
Okay.
Focus and attention. If you think about the things that you would otherwise need to do to gain focus or attention, drink coffee, smoke cigarettes, take a pill of some sort, all of those things are attached with all kinds of negative side effects. You don't want to be doing that to your body. You can just simply play the blend that gives you the same effect without any side effects. And that's the beauty of the product. The number 1 use of the product is sleep.
Sleep, okay.
60%,
well, I could use that too.
60% of Americans can't sleep at night. They either can't fall asleep or they can't stay asleep. That was my problem. And the reason I got involved with the product and with the company is I tried it. And I slept like a baby.
Interesting. Okay, I'm going to try that one too, because there was creativity in the email mastery that I did, and the sleep and like meditation, and there were quite a few different applications on there. How do you monetize this technology?
Well, it's kind of like a 2-step. We sell the device. So the device basically is a delivery mechanism for the blends. That's the content. And then we charge a subscription fee. If you want access, right now we've got 25 blends. Like you said, they're all lifestyle blends, relax, do work, be focused. And if you want access to all of them, there's a subscription. But 2 blends come bundled with the device.
And what is your sales strategy?
A variety of different distribution. We have a big direct-to-consumer strategy. To date, all of our growth, and again, extremely compelling for me coming in as the CEO, has been word of mouth. People who use the product come back to us and they tell their friends that it has effectively changed their lives. They're more focused. They're able to control their sleep patterns. We work with professional athletes, with entertainers, with people in business. They're our best salespeople. But as we look to scale the business, a comprehensive direct-to-consumer strategy, a strategy where we're going to be having the product fulfilled through third-party retail. And a lot of people are now starting to create blends of their own. Think Spotify for moods. They're starting to create blends on our platform, and they're bringing their followers to the platform.
Oh, interesting. Well, I did tell some people about it, and I promised I would try it a couple more times before I, just make sure it wasn't some kind of weird thing. But I tell you, I mean, it really did. I was done earlier than I ever have been with all that work I had to do. What about your gross margins on sales?
Gross margins are strong, about 70% on the product itself. which gives us lots of latitude to participate with third parties where we can share some of the revenue. And then, of course, the SaaS or subscription, that's a nice high margin business. So those two things together, really are the undercurrents of a business model that can scale quite profitably.
Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank
I'll
you.
keep you up to date on my other experiences with it.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, Jonah.
Closed captioning brought to you by MagnaLife Leg and Back Pain Relief for pain-related symptoms of sciatica.
Tired of pain radiating down your leg and lower back? Get relief, finally, with MagnaLife Leg and Back Pain Relief, and get living.